Good afternoon. I'm Bud Peterson, the president here at Georgia Tech, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this special event, which marks the third presentation of the Ivan Allen Jr. Prize for Social Courage. What a special group of folks, what a special event, and what a special guest of honor we have with us this afternoon. Georgia Tech established the Ivan Allen Jr. Prize for Social Courage to recognize individuals like Mayor Ivan Allen Jr., who by standing up for clear moral principles in the social arena have positively affected public discourse at the risk of their own careers, livelihoods, and sometimes their own lives. The prize is supported in perpetuity through a generous commitment by the Wilbur and Hilda Glenn Family Foundation, and we have Tom and Lou Glenn with us here this afternoon. A Georgia Tech graduate, Ivan Allen was mayor of the city of Atlanta from 1962 to 1970. Through his own personal convictions and courage, he helped change the culture of Atlanta and the region and the entire South as it moved through the painful process of desegregation and helped create a society that embraces social acceptance and equality. Georgia Tech is proud to steward the legacy of Mayor Allen. A flag bearer of our work in this regard is the Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts. Founded in 1990, research, teaching, and service in the college illuminate human perspectives on science and technology, and in so doing, fulfill the critical dimension of the Institute's work to improve the human condition. I want to thank all of you for coming and want to now introduce the Dean of the Ivan Allen College, Dean Jacqueline Rosen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I also offer a warm welcome to each of you. We are pleased to celebrate a very powerful ideal, the ideal of social courage. Today, we honor two individuals who reached for the very best within themselves and who asked the very best from their fellow citizens in order to bring about justice and equality under the law for everyone in this country. Mayor Ivan Allen Jr. and Congressman John Lewis. These exemplars worked in what is perhaps the toughest arena for innovation of all, that of social change. Please join me now in remembering another extraordinary leader who, like Mayor Allen and Congressman Lewis, risked his life to bring about social justice and civil rights. Martin Luther King, Jr. Dr. King was killed 45 years ago on this day in 1968. I ask you to join me in a moment of silence. We are also pleased that President Peterson's wife, Val, is with us today. As is our provost, Raphael Cross. I offer a very special welcome to the Allen family and our gratitude for their steadfast support for the college generally, and specifically throughout the years that we have awarded an Allen Prize. Our deep appreciation goes, of course, to Tom Glenn and his wife, Lou, for their commitment to this award. Also present today are two recipients of an earlier prize, the Ivan Allen Jr. Prize for Progress and Service, which this college presented for 10 years. The two recipients are Helene Gale of CARE USA. And William J. Todd, now at our Scheller College of Business. Also with us are members of the Ivan Allen College Advisory Board. Would all who are present please stand? Now I'd like to introduce Professor Tom Bucks. Tom is the Margaret and Henry C. Bourne Jr. Chair in Poetry and a 2012 winner of the Governor's Award in Arts and Humanities. Under Tom's leadership, poetry at Tech has achieved national and international acclaim. And if you have time this evening at 7, I think it is, in the auditorium at the Paper Institute, we will have a reading. Today, though, we are delighted to have him read for us.
Thank you, Jackie. I love this day. I love this event. The more I learn about Ivan Allen, the more I respect and love the man and for leading this city in a very difficult time. As Jackie just said, this is a somber day. I momentarily confused my students the other day by asking if they remembered where they were when Dr. King was murdered. Normally I would read a poem of mine, but I can read my poems pretty much at any time. And today I thought, because of this occasion, and because of Congressman Lewis being here and being honored, that I'd read a poem called Frederick Douglass by a poet named Robert Hayden. Robert Hayden was a great American poet. Frederick Douglass was a great American, and this is a great American poem. Frederick Douglass. When it is finally ours, this freedom, this liberty, this beautiful and terrible thing, needful to man as air, usable as earth, when it belongs at last to all, when it is truly instinct, brain matter, diastole, systole, reflex action, when it is finally won, when it is more than the maudie gumbo-jumbo of politicians, this man, this Douglass, this former slave, this Negro beaten to his knees, exiled, visioning a world where none is lonely, none hunted, alien, this man, superb in logic and love, this man shall be remembered. Oh, not with statues, rhetoric, not with legends and poems and wreaths of bronze alone, but with the lives grown out of his life, the lives fleshing his dream of the beautiful, needful thing. Thank you.
It's our pleasure and privilege to introduce to you this year's recipient of the Ivan Allen Jr. Prize for Social Courage, the Honorable John Robert Lewis.
Peterson, Dean Roscoe, to the nominating committee for the Alvin Allen Jr. Prize for Social Courage, to all of the distinguished faculty members for Georgia Tech, and to all of the students, Ambassador Young, Ambassador Fowler, Charlene Hunter, Ford, my friend and sister, Sheriff Frank, my friend and sister, and to all of my colleagues and friends who are here today. This is extraordinary. The members of the Alvin Allen family, the members of the Glenn family, and Tom, thank you for that video. Thank you, it's amazing. I just want to take a moment, Mr. President, and Dean Roscoe, again, to say thank you. To be honored with an award, a prize, named after Alvin Allen Jr., and to be included with the likes of Sam Nunn and Dr. Fogan was almost too much. It is unreal. It is unbelievable to me. When President Peterson came to my office here in Atlanta to give me the news of the words that Georgia Tech wanted to honor me with the Alvin Allen Jr. Prize for Social Courage, I was moved, Charlene, again to tears. I said, Mr. President, I really don't feel worried, because the only thing I ever tried to do in my life is just to do what I could to help, to make a difference. I tried to make a contribution, to make a way out of no way, to meet the pressing need of a people that have been left out and left behind in the heart of the American South, especially in the 11 states of the old Confederacy, from Virginia to Texas. I was inspired, yes, to find a way to get it away. I've heard the words of Martin Luther King Jr. I followed the drummer of the Montgomery bus boycott. I had been inspired to act. I was not anyone special, just an ordinary farm boy, son of sharecroppers, that was inspired by what I call the spirit of history. But we studied the philosophy and the discipline of nonviolence. The sit-ins, the freedom rides, the marches, including the March on Washington and the March from Selma to Montgomery. We sitting there on a lunch counter stool in the city of Nashville, or in Atlanta, or some other place in the South, and someone will come up and maybe spit on you. Put out a lighted cigarette out in your hair or down your back. But we were taught to accept the way of peace, the way of love, the way of nonviolence, as a way of life, as a way of living. So I accept this prize, accept this honor. And it's my hope and my prayer that it would inspire generation yet unborn, that they too, students here at Georgia Tech and other colleges and universities in Atlanta, in Georgia, and around our country, to find a way to make a difference. Alvin Allen, yes, was a very successful businessman. He had a conscience. He had vision. And he provided great leadership. Sometimes I feel today that maybe, just maybe, we're losing our way. What happened to us as a nation? What happened to us as a people? Is there something in our DNA? Is there something in our makeup that we cannot say, excuse me? I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? On May 9th, 1961, when I got off that Greyhound bus in Rock Hill, South Carolina, with my seatmate, a young white gentleman by the name of Albert Bigelow, we were met by a group of young men who beat us and left us lying in a pool of blood. The local police officials came up and said, do you want to press charges? We said no. "48 years later, one of the men that beat my seatmate, came to my office in Washington, D.C. and said, Mr. Lewis, I'm one of the people that attacked you. Will you forgive me? I want to apologize. He was moved by the election of President Obama. He said someone had asked him, do you want to go to heaven? Or do you think you're going to heaven? He said, I don't think so. He was moved by that election and moved by the request of his son to seek out the people that he had done. I said, I forgive you. I accept your apology. His son started crying. He started crying. I started crying. He hugged me. His son hugged me. I hugged him. I saw him 4 different times. He called me brother. I called him brother. That was the power of the movement. To move toward laying down the burden of division, laying down the burden of hate, and creating a community, a beloved community, at peace with itself. The power to forgive and be reconciled. Sometime in the Congress, I feel like if we could have a few nonviolent workshops. And that's why, in the young, I take members of Congress back to Birmingham, back to Montgomery, back to Selma. Maybe, just maybe, these men and women, black and white, Democrats and Republicans, Latinos and Asian American and Native American, will be inspired. Get together. I had a member of the United States Senate, not from Georgia, 7 years ago, to go on a trip from another state. After the trip was over, he said to me, John, if I had been on this trip early, my voting record would be different. So I said to you, Mr. President, and the Georgia Tech family, and each and every one of you, that we must never, ever lose hope. We must never, ever get lost in a sea of despair. We must keep the faith and keep moving toward the building of that beloved community right here in America and around the world. It's not impossible, but it must start. It must begin someplace. Maybe with each one of us. I feel more than blessed. Not lucky, this in our own country, in our own region, what I like to call a nonviolent revolution. A revolution of values, a revolution of ideas. And when people said to me, nothing can change, John, I said, come and walk in my shoes. I will show you. We're better people. Our country's better. But we still have a distance to go. People ask me whether the election of President Barack Obama is a fulfillment of Dr. Martin Luther King's dream. And having for individuals like Martin Luther King Jr., I don't know what I would be. I could still be down there in Alabama preaching to those chickens that baptized themselves. But when people say, is this the fulfillment of Dr. King's dream? I said, no, it's just a down payment. It's a down payment. We must continue to press on. And receiving this honor, named for Ivan Allen, will inspire me to keep pushing on. The simple justice exists for all of the people of this land. And I'm not just talking about America, but all humanity. In the final analysis, we are one people, one family, one house, not just the American house, but the world house. And as I've said over and over again, it doesn't matter whether we're black or white, Latino, Asian American, or Native American, whether we're Democrats or Republicans, whether we're gay or straight, whether we're wealthy or low income, we're one people. We're one house, the world house. So I said to you, thank you, walk with the wind, and let the spirit of history be your guide.